salute. So make I first of all say congratulations to all my obedient family. Them be una know wetin dey sup now. INEC don't come out, come talk say they no declare Bola Ahmed Tinubu as winner of Abuja. So therefore, how Bola Ahmed Tinubu won't come be governor of FCT? It's not possible now. My people, I go let you now watch this video from Obidati TV. Keep hope alive. As you dey watch and so, make you help me share and you will be obedient. Share this video, drop your comment, like this page, follow this page. You will be better Nigeria, we won't change. Even if you not be obedient, share this video, follow this page, drop your comments. I go see you now for my next video. Thank you and congratulations once again.
When I see here, now Tinubu and APC, where they know they agree with waiting court talk. Anything where court talk, you go see how they go begin the countermode. They no go agree at all. So with that one, make we kukuma go straight to those things where we say we get for court. First, the one thing when I want mention, now one giving fact where come from Constitution. When then they discuss that very and where they for Abuja percentage of votes, that very and me and you know saying an addition, we don't already know that one. But now that very section 299 of the Constitution, it talks say the president will be deemed the governor of the Federal Capital Territory. Now, waiting that one mean simple say. You must be now the president now go be the governor of Abuja. Person when be say you no win for the state where you suppose govern. I want to know whether they suppose declare them at all. They no suppose declare them at all because that constitution they clear. You know they ambiguous. You know get other meaning. So Tinubu no win Abuja, cure ED. And as you no win Abuja, he no suppose govern Abuja where then they talk say na state. Now their own final written address talk say na state. Everywhere where then they talk as APC, then they talk say make them classify Abuja as state. So if Abuja truly say na state, if you no win that state, how you go become the governor of that state? Make we reason all these things. Because when we they talk say na lawyers, now then they bring confusion for us. Now them truly they bring confusion. Then make we look at that very forfeiture issue. For inside court, the witness of Tinubu enter court. Talk say that money $460,000 US. It talk say na drug money for the presence of the judges where they there. That's what the man talk. They asked him, he said yes. Say na the process of this thing, but say na civil litigation. Now Constitution talk say fine, even if na fine, say you no go suppose contest as president for Nigeria. Now so Constitution talk am, and we don't show those places where you come out for Constitution and we go show them again. But before we do that, make we hear as David Hunde, the person will be say he don't explore those possibilities. How you take explain them that first time when you go collect all the information from that very district court where give that judgment. Because that very anyway, make we hear from David Hunde. Make you know be say this make we hear as in take talk am. Make we know say now the issues where we get for court now we dey discuss. Make they no carry us enter another Emefiele stuff.
There are basically two stories in one here. The first is a story about a drug trafficking indictment that the candidates of the All Progressives Congress had in 1993. And as I've appeared on this show before to speak about this case, anyone who hasn't read the case files can easily Google them and find them. They are everywhere now. These case files have been sourced from the U.S. District Courts of Eastern District of Illinois, the Northern District of Illinois Eastern Division. And essentially, you have this fellow, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who was identified by IRS Investigative Special Agent Moss as a bagman, that's a money launderer working on behalf of a drug ring that was trafficking heroin in Chicago. And basically, this indictment, which has been on public record since 1993, for whatever reason, this story hasn't properly been told the way it was meant to be told. It's sort of become like a rumored kind of thing. So in the lead up to this election, I decided that I wanted to take this on. That you can't have a story potentially about somebody who has a chance of becoming Nigeria's next president being linked to drug trafficking, and it's just relegated to the realm of like social media rumors and stuff you see on blog pages on Instagram and things like that. So I dug into it, and the information is visible to the blind and audible to the deaf. But this fellow was involved in drug trafficking, and this is not an allegation. This is not a claim. This is a documented fact. Right? There are legal documents backing this up. Right? This guy forfeited $460,000 of funds that were, I quote, proceeds of narcotics trafficking. This is on record. So, I don't know, possibly because it's been 29 years since this thing happened, and as we tend to do in Nigeria, we tend to think that justice has an expiry date. So because this thing happened 29 years ago, and he has been able to get away with it, he became a governor, he governed for 2 terms, has been a political operator, he was elected as a senator in 1992 as well. So basically, he got away with it all the time. So the posturing from the camp seems to be that, well, this is already dead and buried, so why are you resurrecting this now? So why are you asking this question? And I think that's a ridiculous position to take, because as I've said earlier, Bola Tinubu is not applying to be president of Lagos or president of APC or president of Dele Alake and Bayo Onanuga. Bola Ahmed Tinubu is applying to my president too, and your president, everybody's president who carries a Nigerian passport. So of course he has to answer this question that were you not linked with drug trafficking? And if you claim that you weren't, well, here's the evidence, unimpeachable evidence that you were. So what do you have to say for that? Obviously, he doesn't want to answer that question. He doesn't want to present himself for that type of question, because obviously he doesn't have anything with which to defend himself. He's as guilty as sin.
Eyes go always there on the judiciary. Our eyes go always there on the real issues where they before the court. Make them no carry us the enter for another side. DSS this one, DSS that one. Yes, those ones no matter, but all our eyes go there for judiciary. Now for that very one, I want make all of us there. With this very one, we go still come back to other things where we say e dey for court. This one now for that very for future where this man talk say it's a fact, it's undisputed. Now so intake talk. We will come to waiting our people they talk, but before that time, as he say Njema they do mwe.
Yes, so my fabulous obedient worldwide. You know say this thing where David they talk. Na documented facts. No be say na fin they act. And if to say na say US they civilized. No, they know they like African country where be say no joro than they do. They get real facts. It's documented. If you need and they go give you. Once you pay the collector. No be say na hidden something. And you know say before you become our president, your hands must stay clean. So that our passport, wherever you go, you talk, they go respect you. Not be say you carry baggages for your back, you won't become president. How you want your citizens to be, how you want other people to treat your citizens. Now you make we they shout, now you make obedient they shout say, we no vote Tinubu, we no vote APC. Now PO, now Labour Party now we vote. We need our mandate. Judiciary, you are on trial. Yes, you are on trial. Your dignity, you need to reclaim it now. Where be say that they use DSS, they pursue na up and down. Now na need to sit down, gather on ourselves together, do meeting, say enough is enough.
Yes, so enough is enough. Make we see waiting our people they talk for Twitter and online platforms where we say they get, because they know they give them chance to they talk for mainstream. So now for where then they talk, and at that very place, the major talking points there. This one they come out from Pierre.
We have this one from Miss Pearl. She said Nigeria is a constitutional republic. Tinubu said he has never had any citizenship entanglement with another nation. He lied, forged certificate, forged election result, even laundered money. The judiciary must not enable him by engaging in any recording laundering. Sack that forger-in-chief now. Yes,
so the judiciary must not enable him by engaging in record laundering. That is, to they launder something. Now then talk say, may then sack the forger-in-chief. So now Sopiels take talk, and we get another one from Jibril Okuteba. That is that very lawyer will be say, now our Labour Party lawyer, and the man is outspoken in the talking own in this. Make I even bring up myself. He said Nigeria is sliding into dictatorship. Rule of law, no more in practice. While we operate rule of law in theory, we operate in practice despotism and totalitarian regime under the color of democracy. The show of shame today between DSS and correctional officers support my position. I have always said that those in power operate political vendetta and no rule of law. Why is DSS now all over the place? Is DSS above the law of the land? In a country where rule of law holds sway, the judiciary is respected and nobody is allowed to subvert judicial orders. Now, so Jibril Okuteba take talk. But in Nigeria, the judiciary is held in contempt by those who ought to be in prison. The judiciary itself has refused to assert its supremacy. When it is treated with disrespect, it does nothing. When I read law, I was told you should report contempt of court to the court. Make a report as in the read. Now he said, try and report to the court. That is the order. That its orders are being flouted. The judiciary will fold its arm in piteous state of helplessness. No sanctions, no consequences. King is law in Nigeria. The executive is lawless. Lawyers aid executive lawlessness. I am wondering where we are going. In all of these practical destructions of democracy by political class, they still pretend to be democrats. Let me ask, is Nigerian democracy indeed a democracy? I doubt. We are sliding into state of nature. The mighty is right in Nigeria. What kind of system do we operate? I still believe that only the legal profession can restore law and order in Nigeria. Time for the profession to think more of tomorrow is now. The legal profession has condoned too much evil in the past. That is why it is not being respected by those who should dread the judiciary. Waiting in talk. The people will be say they suppose fear judiciary, will be the executive. They know they fear them again. Can you imagine? DSS will be say na a creation of the constitution. No fear the people where they suppose fear. Now who again then go fear? If the president of the country no fear the law, who again that very president go fear? If National Assembly people no fear court, now which people then go fear again? Yet, court go give order. Tribunals go give order. INEC go disappoint. INEC go disobey. They no go come. Give election materials to petitioners. They no give and reach today. Nothing happen. Give them access to Beaver's machine. They no give. Nothing happened. My people, obedience worldwide. We dey talk about judiciary. We still have hope because our PO will always na the person where we dey follow for back and na the person where we say we trust. He say make we get hope, and that very hope now for judiciary dey. Now make we continue. E get wetin I wan bring for now where we say e dey for our own final written, our response to that their final written address. E dey for page 39. And this very one, now still they talk about the answer to this very FCT issue. For that section when I talked before. But this one, we won't talk section 1342. That is 134 subsection 2 of the 1999 Constitution as amended. They say, is there right in that section? The argument that the states and the FCT are taken as one collective of 37 states, whereby FCT is treated as a state. But that section 134 of the Constitution differentiates between, on one hand, states and then FCT. And on the other hand, states only. Now, please see section 134 3b. Now, so then they talk to the people who say then they review this thing now of the constitution, where the drafter says states only, not only but twice. Then in section 134 subsection 4b of the constitution, the drafters of our constitution again say states and FCT. An important canon of interpretation posits that phrase is drafter. That is in the FCT, vex in section 1342b of the Constitution, then using only states in section 1343b of the Constitution, and reverting back to the states and FCT in section 134b of the Constitution. It only confirms that the FCT is not a state. The drafters was intentional where he said and FCT. Now, in the same place, 5.33, he said, furthermore, the argument that section 299 of the Constitution, as amended, provides that the FCT should be treated as a state is patently misplaced. Section 299 of the Constitution is contained in Part 1, Chapter this thing of the Constitution, which only deals with the allocation, legislative and executive powers for the internal administration of the FCT, which I mentioned before. Basically, demarcating FCT administration from the federal administration. The section 134 of the Constitution is in chapter 5 of the Constitution by section 3.5 of the Constitution. Every provision is part 1, chapter 7 of the Constitution, such as section 299 of the Constitution. It concerns only matters covered in that part. It is therefore submitted that the provisions of section 134 cannot be interpreted with a reference to section 299 of the Constitution, bearing in mind the provision of section 3, subsection 5 of the Constitution. Now, in conclusion, that is 6.0, our own final written address, for reason given above, we respectfully urge your lordships to discountenance Tinubu and Shetima's defense as devoid of any scintilla of merit, and hold that the petitioner's case is meritorious and grant them relief. Then they say that the lordships, they take them to what happened in Kenyan Supreme Court in the case of Laila Odinga and others versus the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission. That is that Kenyan nullification of their Supreme Court. And I will say what in them talk. They say, when in nullifying the election that returned Uhuru Kenyatta as the winner of the Kenyan presidential election in 2017, ex cathedra, they say, what of the argument that this court should not subvert the will of the people? This court is one of those to whom that sovereign power has been delegated under Article 13C of the same Constitution. All these powers, including that of invalidating a presidential election, is not self-giving nor forcefully taken, but is donated by the people of Kenya. To dishonestly exercise that delegated power and to close our eyes to the constitutional violations will be a dereliction of duty, and we refuse to accept that invitation to do so. However popular the invitation may seem, therefore, however burdensome, let the majesty of the Constitution reverberate across the length and breadth of our motherland. Let it bubble from our rivers and ocean. Let it boomerang from our hills and mountains. Let it serenade our households from the streets. Let it sprout from our institutions of learning. Let it stroll from our sanctums of prayer, and to those who bear the responsibility of leadership, let it be a constant irritant. na so our prayers be, dated July 20th.